What's good, everybody? With 2024 coming to the end, you already know we got to do a best list. So today we're going to be going over which basketball sneaker is the best basketball sneaker of the year. I got 5 nominees for you guys. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about each one of them individually, how I feel about them. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to rank them 1 through 5 and, basically tell who the winner is. Now, if you don't see what you think should be best basketball shoe of the year, let me know in the comment section below. And you can also let me know when you get to the end of the video if my list was pretty accurate. So without further ado, let's get straight into the first shoe. First shoe we got is the Adidas Anthony Edwards 1. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I have some other videos on my channel doing the best ofs, and the Anthony Edwards comes up in almost every single conversation. I've said it once and I'll say it again, bro. From the design, the colorway, the marketing, and the player itself, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. The Anthony Edwards has been one of the shoes where it had people having genuine conversations of, is Adidas taking over Nike in the basketball field? Now, do I think it did? No, because Nike just has way too many signature players on the team for Anthony Edwards and James Harden. It's basically 2 against 10 to 15. I ain't gonna lie to you. So it didn't do that, but it definitely put them in the conversation. A lot of people were rocking with the Anthony Edwards ones, and I was rocking with them. And we even had it to the point where we were making a genuine argument of, could you wear these casually? Which I think you do, because there are only a select few of basketball shoes that you should be wearing or can wear off the court. And actually seeing these in person, and at first, it was a quick glance, and I was like, oh dang, those are hard. And I was like, wait, hold on, those are Anthony Edwards. And I was like, okay. I said, he rocking them on the street. And I said, I can't even be mad at it, because it don't really have, it looks like a basketball shoe, but at the same time, depending on how you freak it for real, you could get away with it wearing it off the court, man. Functionality wise too, I think it's a really good shoe if you like playing in Adidas shoes. I just don't really think that there's really ever been a solid Adidas shoe. Now, the Dames were good, but only some of the models. When we got later in the line, it kind of fell off. And so I think Adidas was just like, the Anthony Edwards ones, they just came at a perfect time. And like I said, all the colorways have been fire. The marketing, I love all of his commercials. I love how Adidas gives him that freedom. He was calling out players, he's calling out brands, he's calling out other people's signature shoes. It was just amazing, bro. And then obviously the player himself, he's a real cool dude. He's not media trained, so he kind of gives a connection to that younger generation, which I feel like is lackluster in some shoes / players. So overall, it was a very good, refreshing feel when the Anthony Edwards ones came out. Next, we have the Nike Sabrina 2s. These are absolutely fire. If you've noticed, and I'll say this before I say that, I sell to a lot of collegiate athletes, 5-star athletes in high school, NBA players, overseas players, and they said this is literally one of the best basketball shoes that they ever hooped in. And they said functionality-wise and look-wise, just overall-wise, really, they compared a lot to the Kobe 5s and 6s. And for this to be a shoe that's obviously a little bit easier to get than the 5s and 6s, and the only reason I say easier is because at the end of the day, this is a women's shoe. It is Sabrina's shoe. So shout out to the WNBA. But she releases all of her shoes in women's sizes, but it does go up to men's sizes. But when we get to 12s, 13s, 14s, it gets a little bit harder to get the Sabrina. So I will say, I like that. It still gives an exclusive feel to a basketball shoe, which I feel like we haven't really had in a long time outside of Kobe's, and it was only one real reason why it was that limit filled to Kobe's, but another day, another story. I love the Sabrinas. I love what they do to the WNBA. I think it brings a lot of attention to the WNBA, and functionality-wise, it's just really good. And you could Nike ID them, bro. So you could basically create almost essentially any Kobe that you want. So I think that's super fire. I love them. And if you just watch NBA hoops or college hoops, you'll see a lot more players gravitating towards the Sabrinas. A lot of the players love them. So shout out to the Sabrinas for real. Next up, we have the Adidas Harden Volume 8. I ain't gonna lie, this was a banger. This was one of the first Harden shoes that really got my attention, because when I first seen them, I was like, are these basketball shoes or is Harden in his fashion bag? Because you know how Harden get, he gonna pop out, he gonna be at them clubs, and I was like, oh, we getting Houston Harden back, and I would say that it didn't get as much hype, and I didn't see a lot of people wearing it compared to the Anthony Edwards ones, but he definitely also aided into that conversation of is Adidas trying to take over Nike when it comes to the hoop scene. But I like these more of a off the court presence. I haven't really seen anybody outside of like people in the Adidas circuit really rock these. But on the court, depending on the colorway, bro, I think you could really freak something for a look. I see this more as a casual shoe than a hoop shoe, in my opinion. That would be the only reason I would get it. Now, functionality-wise, I haven't really heard too much about it, just off the simple fact that I don't really know anybody that has them for real. But design-wise, I love it, and it definitely got my attention. So shout out to the Hardens for real. Next up, we have the Antakai ones. So if you don't really know the background story, Kyrie was obviously with Nike and produced bangers with Nike. I think there was a certain point where he was just carrying Nike at a certain point. And then I think we got to the Kyrie 8, and Kyrie just came out and was like, bro, y'all can't give me what I want. I don't have any creative freedom. And then the whole anti-Semitic stuff came out with Kyrie, and they got rid of him, which was just the dumbest thing ever. And so Anta picked him up, and bro, they give him whatever creative freedom he wants. And honestly, I think it works out. The first one is easily the best one, and it was a limited drop. The first 3 Antas were extremely hard to get, which I do think plays a little bit into their downfall a little bit, because everybody was just so hyped to get an Anta Kyrie. Kyrie had so much love. I even went to the event in Dallas when they debuted the shoe. It was just so much love. Even on the internet, it was just so much love trying to get these shoes. But the first 3 shoes were just extremely hard to get. And I think after that, the hype just wore off and nobody was really buying them. Now, me personally, I haven't really seen too many people actually wear these when I go hoop or go watch hoops. I haven't really seen too many people with the Antakais. But on the internet, it gets a lot of love. So I don't know if people are just getting it just to have a Kyrie, because again, a lot of people just buy these shoes. Even when I went to the event, a lot of people were just buying it just to have it. Or maybe a lot of people are just saving it for casual wear. But I haven't seen them. But the actual design, the details, the thoughts, the story behind them, I think it is so good on so many levels. So I really do love the Antakai ones. And I would have kept the first one that I bought, but it was just money to be made. I ain't gonna lie. So shout out to the Antakais. And last but not least is the Nike Book Ones. Now, this shoe was getting a lot of controversy when it first got debuted. And this was also one of the few shoes where I feel like we were in the argument of, can we rock these off the court too? And some of the colorways, bro, yes you can. Easily. Like that first orange pair that dropped, I wanted them so bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. But they were numbered, I think, and it was just impossible to get because they were numbered. But then there was a black pair that came out. Those were fire. Now, functionality-wise, they are a little heavy to me, so I don't really like them basketball-wise. But if you get the right colorway, I think these are fire to rock on and off the court. I have been seeing a lot of people wear the books lately. I think they have been coming into play. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm surprised that the Ja Morants aren't on here, because I think a lot more people gravitated towards, we're talking about like gen players, I think a lot more people gravitated towards the Jaws over the books. And I think the Jaws have way better colorways as well. But the books, they're cool, I guess. So that's all 5 shoes. So now I'm going to go ahead and rank them for best basketball sneaker of the year. Oh, and I ain't going to lie, 1 and 2 is going to be super hard for me, bro. Because I'll tell you right now, it's either between the Anthony Edwards ones or the Sabrina 2s. And I'm going to go with the Sabrina 2s. Now, the only reason I'm going with it is just because I've just seen it. I've never, outside of like Kobe's, because of the incident, I've never seen like a shoe really get adapted that well so quick. Because even with like other shoes like the Kyrie ones and the PG ones, everybody loved those, but I don't think it adapted too quick. And there was a lot more other competition too. I think that was during the time when everybody was just getting their signature shoe. Giannis came out with stuff too. I think Aaron Fox had a shoe, maybe something like that. But there was a lot of competition, so it took a while for people to just pick like a definite shoe of like, we're rocking these. But yeah, Sabrina 2s, bro, or Sabrinas in general, just took over. And then 2 is going to have to be the Anthony Edwards ones. It just caused so much hype and so much attention to Adidas. And again, I think overall the rollout of everything with it was 10 out of 10. It's just really hard to... I just seen more people with the Sabrinas versus the Anthony Edwards ones. I ain't going to lie to you. Third, this one is actually going to be a little bit hard too. I'm trying to debate on who I want to put third, honestly. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna probably have to put the Antikais. I'm gonna have to put the Antikais. And it was probably between the Hardens, low key. But the reason I like the Kai ones, I just feel like there's just so much thought. You could feel and see the creative process between it. It's a really good shoe. It looks amazing. It's just, I don't know if I'm just at the wrong courts, but I just haven't seen too many people wear the Antas. I know they recently have been getting into more retailers because at first it was basically like you either get it at Anta or that was about it. But now we're starting to see them at Foot Lockers and things like that. So maybe that was the real reason why I wasn't seeing it as much. But overall, the creative process behind them is super good, and they look good as well. Fourth, I'm gonna have to do the books. I've seen a decent amount of people with them, and I do like the casualness with them of how you could kind of just subtly wear these off the court. He does have some decent designs. It was getting a little hate in the beginning, but I think overall a lot of people adapted to it over time, and I think now people are like they're kind of growing on people. I ain't gonna lie. So shout out to the books. And then last but not least is the Harden 8s. I just haven't seen them in real life, but if I just had an abundance of money, I would definitely try and check out some colorways to see if I could get a fit off with them. I probably wouldn't care for them on the court too much, and I haven't seen them on the court. So my opinion on that is kind of low, and that's why I have them in the last spot. But that is my list. So it's gonna be the Sabrina 2s for me. But you guys can let me know what you think should be best basketball shoe of the year. Let me know if my list was accurate, and then let me know if you think that there was any shoe that was left off of this list. And then also just make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. And also I'll be giving out I'll be giving out shoes and my clothing brand, what you see on my body, out to the homeless. So I make videos like that. So sharing the videos, getting the views up and everything like that does a lot, so I can be able to purchase the things for those type of videos. So thank you for the support. And with that being said, I'll see y'all next video. Peace.